If you think the motorcycle industry is all chrome, caffeine, and carefree canyon runs, think again. Behind the showroom glass, some legendary names have face planted, others are wobbling like a bent rim, and a few are staring down a headwind strong enough to rip your visor off. Today we're ripping the bandage clean off and breaking down 5 brands that collapsed, what actually went wrong, and the impending pressure that could push even the big dogs to the edge. Before we kick this thing over, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your favorite doomed yet iconic bike in the comments. The one you still search on Craigslist at 2 a.m. like it's your toxic ex. You know the one. Number 1. Victory Motorcycles, the challenger that ran out of road. They showed up to the heavyweight brawl with American V-twin swagger, billet bravado, and the bravest marketing team in Minnesota. Victory had the recipe, modern engineering, bold design, and the full might of Polaris behind it. And yet, in one brutal morning in 2017, the brand was gone. 18 years on the road, then lights out. Polaris announced it would wind down Victory immediately in January 2017. Unprofitable was the killer. After nearly 2 decades, Polaris said the cost to stay competitive outweighed the payoff. Legacy point, Victory proved American V-twins didn't have to cosplay as 1950. They made modern cruisers fun. Danger signal, heavy capital burn in a segment where brand religion matters more than spec sheets. When the faithful won't convert, the math gets ugly. So, what actually happened? Victory never built the cult Harley spent a century earning. Even with solid bikes, cross-country, Magnum, Octane, dealer networks, and brand identity are king. Polaris made the cold calculus, funnel resources into Indian, the dormant legend with instant name recognition, and take the L on Victory. In short, great bikes, bad spreadsheet. The market didn't blink, the accountants did. Number 2. Eric Buell Racing, EBR. When genius meets the spreadsheet. If motorcycles were a Marvel movie, Eric Buell is the engineer hero who builds improbable weapons in a garage. Rim rotors, fuel in the frame, chassis that made racetracks feel like half pipes, and then reality checked the invoice. 2015, hard stop. EBR ceased operations and filed for protection in April 2015, after funding dried up. The bikes were world-class in handling and ideas, but each innovation added cost while volume stayed boutique small. Buell is that cult band your favorite racer swears by. What was the danger signal? Race-first strategy in a street buyer world, fragile capital structure, dealer reach that couldn't match big four muscle. So, what actually happened? EBR tried to be a tech company inside a hardware business, R&D heavy, production light, dealer limited, and too often at the mercy of financing. When the money paused, the music stopped. Even attempts to sell assets or restart sputtered under legal and financial weight. Passion alone couldn't pay suppliers. Number 3. Alto Motors, the electric rocket that ran out of juice. Before EV hype was cool, Alto was shredding tracks on silent lightning. The bikes worked, reviews glowed, investors leaned in, and then the plug. October 2018, Alta shut down operations. Production was halted as financing unraveled. Harley-Davidson flirted with partnership, then pursued its own EV path. Alta said, "Thanks for the memories." They proved electric dirt bikes could be legit fun, not science projects. What was the danger signal? Capital-intensive hardware, thin volumes, battery costs, and a dealer ecosystem not built for EV service economics. So, what actually happened? Alta was early, which is a nice way of saying too early for the dollars. Tooling costs, parts suppliers wanting scale, and investors who blinked once the big boys showed up. They were correct about the product and wrong about the moment. The vision outpaced the runway. Number 4. Modus Motorcycles, the American V4 that howled like a small block. If you ever heard a Modus on full chat, you remember it. A wild, across-the-frame V4 that sounded like a muscle car's caffeinated cousin. They built tourers for people who read dyno charts for dessert. And then the money left the chat. 2018, Modus ceased operations abruptly when investors pulled support. Here's a surprising fact: the MST/MSTR V4 was as charismatic as it was expensive to produce. Boutique parts, boutique processes, boutique bills. Proof that American engineering can still get weird in the best way. What was the danger signal? High MSRP plus tiny volume plus niche touring segment equals thin oxygen. So, what actually happened? Modus aimed for a slice of a slice. Performance touring with bespoke everything. The bikes were special, but the addressable market was tiny, and every supplier quote came with a boutique tax. One bad month of capital, game over. Number 5. Norton Motorcycles. Icon imploded, then resurrected. A brand older than your granddad's toolkit. Norton is British motorcycling's haunted mansion. Glorious, grand, and occasionally on fire. In 2020, the house really burned. January 2020, Norton entered administration amid debt and scandal. TVS Motor bought the assets in April 2020 and began rebuilding the company with a major cash infusion. A recent twist in 2025, Norton scrapped its taxpayer-funded electric superbike program, citing weak EV demand for that niche. What was the danger signal? Heritage is heavy. New management must sell more than nostalgia. They have to sell trust. So, what actually happened? Norton's collapse wasn't a simple sales slump. It was a governance meltdown. After TVS took over, production moved to a new facility with a back-to-basics plan. Fix the bikes, fix the brand, then scale up. But in 2025, even the reborn Norton read the room. Electric superbikes aren't ready for prime time, not at the price and performance envelope they needed. That pivot says as much about the market as it does about Norton's new realism. So, who's next to wobble in the impending pressure cooker? Here's a quick reality check. A brand doesn't have to be bad to be in danger. Macro shocks can knock over even the well-managed. In 2025, the motorcycle world is getting hit from 3 sides at once: tariffs, tightening credit, and a pandemic hangover of misread demand. Let's talk about the brands and forces under the heaviest pressure right now. Number 1, Fanatic. Italian grit meets a €130 million wall. Reports from Europe say Fantic is in financial trouble, with debt reportedly over €130 million, even as it tries to push a 2026 motocross range. Surprising fact, launching new off-road models while juggling debt is a high-wire act. Glorious if you stick the landing, brutal if you don't. Fantic's Caballero line kept retro scrambler vibes fun and accessible. What's the danger signal? Debt plus market slowdown. Plus Europe's uneven demand equals storm warning. Here's some context. Fantic's brand value is real. So is a €130 million-ish hole. If consumer credit wobbles and suppliers get spooked, even a good product plan can get iced. This is one to watch closely in the next 12 months. Number 2, Livewire, the EV moonshot that's still counting down. Q1 2025, Livewire sold just 33 motorcycles and posted a $20 million operating loss at the HD segment level. Yes, 33. Here's a surprising fact: losses are shrinking versus 2024, but revenues also fell 42% year over year. It's Harley's cool cyberpunk cousin. Everyone wants a selfie, fewer want a payment plan. What was the danger signal? EV adoption in motorcycles isn't following the car playbook. Price, range, and charging friction feel worse on 2 wheels. Here's some context. Livewire is learning the hard lesson Alta learned. Motorcycles are emotional machines and infrastructure matters. The product rides well, the market math does not. Yet. If cost curves and charging access don't improve, the brand stays in the penalty box. Number 3, Harley-Davidson. The king feels the tariffs and the temperature. H1 2025, global sales down 27.7% year over year. A tsunami compared to expectations per industry trackers. New trade policies created a net headwind estimated at $130 to $175 million for 2025, with specific exposure to China, Mexico, and Canada. Hey, but tariffs are good for the economy, right? Harley-Davidson invented the vibe every cruiser chases. What was the danger signal? Aging core demo plus price inflation plus those awesome tariffs. A wobbly overall market equals a hard year. Some context, it's not a collapse, it's a storm. Harley is cutting costs, prioritizing core touring trike, and hoping the US buyer stabilizes. But when credit tightens and tariffs stack, even kings get pinned. Number 4, BMW Motorrad. Not sinking, but taking spray over the bow. H1 2025. Global BMW Motorrad sales are down 8.2%. Double-digit declines in Western Europe and North America, which make up 74% of BMW's bike sales. Here's a surprising fact. Even with hits like the R1300 GS, macro forces can outmuscle halo bikes. Few brands can sell a feeling of competence like BMW. What's the danger signal? Premium pricing colliding with soft demand and high interest rates. And for context, this is a headwind, not an obituary. But it's proof that even best-in-class engineering can't bully economics forever. Number 5, Honda, the Titan with a bruise. Latest quarter, April to June 2025, Honda's profits roughly halved, with management pointing to US tariffs and EV-related write-downs. A surprising wrinkle, a tariff reprieve lowered rates from 25% to 15% in a new framework. Still a hit, just a smaller one. The most reliable sentence in motorcycling, it's a Honda. What's the danger signal? Tariff volatility plus shifting consumer demand say don't get comfy, even if you're king of the big four. For context, no, Honda's not collapsing, but the tide affects everyone. Tariffs, shifting US buyer preferences, more hybrids on 4 wheels, mixed signals on 2, and a cautious consumer make 2025 a chess match, not a victory lap. So why does 2025 feel like gravel under slick tires? Let's connect the dots. The pressure isn't just bad products, it's systemic. Tariffs and surcharges, first wave import surcharges and pricing responses are now hitting sticker prices you see. The details of who pays what don't matter as much as the number on the tag when you're signing a loan. However, typically tariff prices are always passed on to the consumer, which means Americans will pay more for all of these tariffs. Credit tightening. Interest rates punch above their weight in power sports. That dream bike payment got $60 a month uglier since the last time you checked. Post-pandemic whiplash. Overproduction met cooling demand. Dealer floors that were empty in 2021 to 2022 are now not. Some markets are sliding hard. The US saw consecutive monthly declines in quarter 2. Minus 6.3%, minus 5.6%, minus 11.4% through June year to date, minus 9.2%. Europe stumbles. France's H1 2025 market is down 19.4%, with KTM Group especially weak there. Not apocalypse, but not vibes. The electrification reality check. Motorcycles are not cars. Adoption is slower and more emotional. Research and industry analysis show distinctly different EV patterns on 2 wheels. And even stalwarts like Norton are tapping the brakes on premium EV bets. If your YouTube feed says total collapse right now, remember, some of that is theater. But 2025 is objectively rough across multiple markets and brands. Think recessionary posture, not extinction event. So, what does collapse really look like, and how do you spot it? Stage 1, the quiet frown. Suppliers whisper about late payments. Model year updates get thin. You start seeing dealer-installed accessories to justify pricing. Stage 2, the sales swoon. Discounts appear out of season, new colors instead of new platforms. Pre-owned prices undercut new in the same showroom. Stage 3, the capital crunch. Investor updates go vague, expansion plans rephased, leadership musical chairs, regional offices consolidate. Stage 4, administration wind down. The press release you've seen before, strategic realignment, focus on core, wind down brand. Dealers get parts guarantees, customers get FAQ links and a sinking feeling. So, can the currently pressured brands avoid the cliff? Let's talk about Fantic. They need a surgical debt plan, supplier confidence, and a hit model that's cheap to build and fast to sell. Possible? Yes. Comfortable? Not remotely. Now Livewire. The path is clear but narrow. Slash burn, find fleet partners or urban programs, and either nail a sub $12,000 gateway bike or add insane range without adding weight. Until then, it's a fashionable science project with quarterly report cards. Now let's talk about Harley. Survive the tariff storm, keep feeding the Grand American Touring faithful, and keep Livewire as a long-dated call option, not a cash bonfire. The brand's not dying, it's weathering. Now to our favorite German company, BMW. Ship GSs like it's a public service and pray the central bank stops cosplaying Thanos. When money's cheap again, premium rebounds fast. Honda. They'll be fine, they always are. But tariffs and global mix can still make a superhero limp. What lessons can we learn from the 5 collapses? Number 1, brand does not equal business. A legendary badge can't paper over broken books. Norton's crown didn't protect it from governance failures and cash gaps. What's the takeaway? Audit leadership, cash flow, and supplier terms as hard as you polish heritage. Watch for fuzzy accounting updates, late filings, or strategic silence in investor notes. Number 2, innovation needs a runway. EBR and Alta prove genius isn't enough without a long cash runway and patient capital. The takeaway? Pair moonshots with money shots, sell something steady while you chase the extraordinary. Watch for feature creep that bloats BOM cost without raising volume. Number 3, niche is nice until it isn't. Modus went boutique inside a boutique segment. The takeaway? If your total addressable market is tiny, your cost base must be microscopic. Or your backers saintly. Watch for high MSRP plus low tooling amortization plus supplier boutique tax. Number 4, distribution is destiny. Victory learned you can't outspec community. The takeaway? Dealers demo programs and owner clubs convert skeptics. Spec sheets don't. Watch for shrinking dealer footprints, anemic demo fleets, and forums full of "where do I even test ride this?" Number 5, macro beats micro. Tariffs, rates, and credit cycles slap even perfect products. The takeaway? Scenario plan like it's a Dark Souls boss fight. Assume you'll get hit. Watch for sudden MSRP adjustments, financing promos getting stingier, inventory aging on floors. Number 6, parts and service are the afterlife. When a brand dies, owners live in the parts department. Victory owners did okay thanks to Polaris. Not everyone does. The takeaway? The parts pipeline and third-party ecosystem determine long-term trust. Watch for shrinking parts catalogs, longer lead times, and service bulletins going dark. Number 7, timing is greater than tech, especially for EVs. Alta's bikes ripped the market and charging weren't ready. The takeaway? In 2 wheels, use case and infrastructure trump novelty. Watch for beautiful prototypes with no cost curve story. Next year, charging partnerships every year. Number 8, partnerships cut both ways. Tie your fate to one strategic partner and you inherit their mood swings. Diversify investors and suppliers. Never bet the company on one handshake photo. Watch for single point of failure investors, exclusivity contracts that lock you into bad economics. So, the big question now, what this means for riders and your wallet. Dealers are coming and already here. US market softness and dealer inventory mean more bargaining power. Watch quarter 3 and quarter 4 incentives. Thinking EV? Choose with eyes open. Livewire's numbers show the valley between cool press bike and viable ownership. If you can charge at home and your rides are urban, suburban, it can still pencil emotionally. Just budget like it's a hobby, not a savings plan. Parts support matters. When you fall in love with an orphan brand, check the parts pipeline and aftermarket scene. Victory owners are fine. Polaris honored parts support. But not every story is that tidy. Don't buy the headline hysteria. Big brands aren't vanishing tomorrow. But 2025 is a shakeout, and shakeouts make bargains and heartbreak. 5 collapses, 5 cautionary tales, and a 2025 market that's playing hard mode. Some of these stories are tragic, some are legends forged in fire, and some are ask me again next quarter. Either way, the lesson is the same. Motorcycling is passion strapped to a balance sheet. When those two fight, the spreadsheet usually wins. Which one blew your mind? Was it a brand you love that got the axe, or are you watching Livewire's numbers like a season finale cliffhanger? Tell me in the comments, and hey, if you want more deep dive, brutally honest industry breakdowns, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next wild ride.